coming this evening. I'm very happy to be here, and this is my first visit to Brazil with the Vinícola people. We're hoping to do very good things now and in the future. So I'll tell you a little bit about Clarendon Hills, the history, and I've had 21 vintages. I started in 1990, was my first vintage. Slowly we've built up to, we're still a small family winery, make 12,000 cases per year between Grenache, Mourvèdre, and Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon on Merlot. So we have the 5 varieties. I'm very traditional in what I do, basically what was happening in Europe 100 years ago in France, I guess. We have old vines in this area. These Grenache vines are all around about 90 years of age. We don't have phylloxera in this area, so these are on the original French roots, the pre-phylloxera clones from France, which is very unusual. This is a Jurassic Park of old clones that came to Australia in the 1830s, before the French had the phylloxera. And then, of course, once they had phylloxera, they replanted with American rootstock and higher yielding clones. So they have now realised that they made a big mistake a long time ago, and now they're taking cuttings from these vineyards and sending back to France, because they realise this is incredible old genetic material that they don't have anymore. So, as I said before, we hand pick, we hand prune, we spray twice a year during the growing season, so we're very low chemical input. We only use copper anyway. So when the grapes are picked, they arrive in the winery within 10 minutes of picking. All our vineyards are very close to the winery. And then we ferment with the yeast that comes with the grapes, wild natural yeast. I think this is very important in expressing where they come from, you know, the terroir, the numbers of yeast and the type of yeast from the different vineyards is very important in expressing the characters of these vineyards. You know, the French call them terroir, I call it vineyard expression. It means the same thing. It's the postcode, it's the vineyard, and it's the exposure to the sun and the slope and the stones and sand, whatever we have. This is what ends up in the glass. So we don't do any fining, we don't do any filtration. This is totally natural wine. We don't add anything here, nothing. And these are matured in round about 3-year-old French oak barrels. We only use French oak, but in the case of the Grenache, it's older barrels because the Grenache bouquet is very delicate. We don't want to mask it with new French barrels. There's no point, you know. The Spanish people do it, but I don't like that. So here we have 6 wines, all Grenache, all from the same year, all made by me, all made exactly the same way, but you'll see they're distinctly different wines, purely because they come from different vineyards. That's the only difference. Also, the wines are somewhat cold, so you have to give them lots of swirling to get the fruit to come up. Unfortunately, they're a bit too cold, but if you work on them, they will reward you. So have a look and we'll see how we go. Thank you.